Hello everyone, welcome to another Maya tutorial. This particular project is for my motion capture class, but we're doing a bunch of different things, and to start out with, we're actually going to be working with 3 scanned objects. So we're going to take in a 3 scanned character that came out of a sculpting class, and we're going to retopologize it because lasers, when they do 3 scans, the resolution is so high that we can't actually use it for animation. So I have already downloaded it. It's on my desktop. I'm just going to go ahead and import it now. So go import. Let's see here. There we go. Import. If you guys are in my class, you can just pull this off your Moodle page. If you are not in my class, you're not going to have access to this. So you'll just have to acquire some other 3D scan if you want to kind of do something similar to what I'm doing. Or you can just extrapolate the information I'm giving you and apply to your own stuff. Okay, so here she is. This is our emo girl. I'm going to start out by doing what I do with every single project. I'm going to create myself a new project. So I'm going to go to File, Project Window, New. I'm going to call this one Emo Girl. I'm going to go to Accept. Alright, I'm going to go to File, Set Project, and I'm going to select that Emo Girl project as my project folder. Now as I'm doing stuff, it'll just automatically put stuff into that folder, so that's what Maya does with its project folders, and that's extremely useful. So I'm going to go to, just go ahead and save what I got here, so save scene as, we're going to do scene 1 underscore, we're going to call this one retop 01, and just save that. Continue. Next I'm going to go and make sure I name my character properly, so I'm going to go to my outliner here. I'm going to click on Emo Girl. I'm going to call her Emo Girl Scan. Okay. Alright. Now, if you look over here in my heads-up display, faces are at 914,000. That's the reason why we're retopping this one. You can't do anything with 1,000,000 polygons. I mean, it's just, your computers are going to chug if you try animating with that. So, we're just going to go ahead and retopologize this so we can actually use it. So, to do that, first I need to turn this into a live surface. So I'm going to go to this magnet here. I'm going to click on that. But it doesn't work unless I don't have her selected, so I'll select her first, then go to the magnet. There we go. Now she's a live surface. Okay. Now to retop her, we're going to use our modeling toolkit. So this modeling toolkit icon right here. Go ahead and click on that. It'll pull up a big old box of tools. Maya decided these are the tools that we use most often. It's got our different component types up here, and the tools we're going to use for retopping are all down here. So you'll see quad draw at the bottom. That is the one we are after. So go ahead and click on that. Okay. Now, when I go through this, I got to make sure that I know what I'm doing. So you guys will start learning to do this just the same. If you guys are experienced modelers, you guys already know this. But if you are not, then this is something that you'll have to learn along the way. So looking at our scan here, and I need to decide what I'm going to do with it. So what I mean by that is that this shirt area here, it's hollow on the bottom, there's no hands, which isn't going to help me a whole bunch when it comes to this shirt moving around. Plus I'm thinking that I want this shirt to be dynamic, so as she's moving around I want this shirt to move as well. And I want her to be able to pick up her hands here and have hands actually come out of this. So this is actually going to be its own object, and I'm going to have it dynamically move around on her as she moves. So I'm going to model the shirt first, and then afterwards I'll pull the shirt off to the side and set it over here as its own object, and then I will model the actual torso itself. The shoes itself are those are just going to be part of the actual body, because I'm not going to model the feet that are going inside the shoes. It just doesn't make any sense. You'll have interpenetration when the shoe bends, so the foot on the inside comes out of the boot. So trying to do the foot and then putting the shoe on the inside, it's just setting yourself up for problems. So If there was no need of like changing shoes or any of that kind of stuff, or having her foot come out of the shoe, then I'm just gonna model it with her shoes as part of her feet. Got a little collar here that will also be modeled in as part of her body. I don't want there to be any kind of neck coming through the collar. The hair, well, the hair is a whole other subject that we're going to approach a little bit later on. So let's go ahead and just do first things first, which is going to be taking care of our shirt here. So go ahead and
whether you're looking to fill one position or 20, ZipRecruiter makes hiring simple.
Go to the background for a second. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead. So one thing I want to kind of point out is like, if we're going to be doing what we normally do, which is we'll model symmetrically. We'll do that with the base model, but with her shirt, how she has this diagonal here, I'm actually going to model the shirt not symmetrically, and then the torso will be symmetrical. So I'm going to go ahead and start drawing these in. So if you left mouse button click in here, if you do this correctly, you see how this magnet's on it, has your name on there, you'll see a little green dot up here. Now what we got here now is we have our starting point. So we'll just go through here, and what it's looking to do here is for us to establish some quads. So we got these dots here, and to fill them in, if you hold down Shift between these dots, they'll start to kind of hop around and say, how about this space? How about this space? How about this space? And as long as you're holding Shift, it'll just keep hopping around. Now, once you click, then it also becomes a face. You can go down and just keep on clicking, you'll fill these all in. Okay, and this is still a live surface, so as I move these edges around, as I'm hovering around here, you'll see these edges highlight, the corners highlight. As I move this around, they will stay live to the surface, which that means is that it'll follow along the surface of our geometry here. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving down here. You don't have to be really stingy with the polygons, but you do want to establish yourself a good set of geometry before you get too crazy. The reason why I say that is because you can end up having the geometry flowing in the wrong directions. But overall, we want to have a lot of geometry on this, because when you have dynamic cloths, it looks unnatural if your cloths are low poly. But it's not going to be anywhere near the 900,000 that we were doing before. Be careful as you're going around this to make sure that you're not spiraling, which means that you're not making these faces go down into each other like this. Like, you want it to go around this way. Otherwise, what you'll end up having is a row of faces at the bottom that don't connect to anything, and then you have to figure out how to adjust geometry to fix that. Okay. I'll keep moving around my geometry like so. Okay. Bring my music back up a little bit. Okay. Now this is based off the camera, so I'm trying to hold Shift here and make this quad over here. The reason why it's not working is because my camera angle can't see that other face. Once I get that into view good enough, it'll start to snap in there. So if you run into that issue, that's why it's doing that. You got to make sure that it actually is visible inside your perspective window. Now, these arms here, you want to make sure that there's enough geometry coming up out of here to connect this arm here. And we're going to handle that here in a little bit. So I'm kind of skirting around the outside here, but I want to make sure that as we go into this, that the geometry is even and it's enough to define it. So. Make sure these bottom edges come pretty close to the ruffle bottom. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and bring this edge up here. So this is kind of what I was talking about. If you're not careful, these aren't going to connect right. There we go. Try to bring this up. Alright, and then complete this one here. Gotta make sure it isn't spiraling. That's what I was talking about. Alright, go ahead and connect this one, that one, that one. Okay. That one, and that one. Alright, I'm gonna hold off in that spot. Okay. Okay. I'll move it around here. There we go. Alright, so that's good. On this side here, you can see how this comes up, and then it stops where the armpit is. So we're going to do one on this side as well, just the same. Alright. And on mine, so this came out of a mold, you can see there's this hole here. I'm not worried about that. I'm actually happy that my geometry is not trying to follow along with that. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty decent. I'm going to actually add a little bit of geometry right here. So as all I did there is I hold down Control, and as I'm dragging my mouse around, you'll see that it starts to drop in these edge loops, and that helps define this a little bit better. So now I can have some geometry that will help me get this shape of the arm kind of set up. Over here. Just grab these corners here and start bringing them up, getting them closer. Okay, this edge here, I'm going to bring it up just a little bit, and then I'm going to drop in another edge loop going on this way, so I'll do the same thing. I'll add in some more geometry over here to connect with this guy. Okay, that's pretty decent. Okay, so now I've got this little cuff here, so now I can start feeding this into my arm here. So go ahead and create my first piece right there. There we go. I want this to kind of turn into a loop, so that that way the edge flows low down into the arm. Oops. And if you run into a situation where you have extra dots that you didn't want, for one, you can grab the dots and just move them around, right? But also, if you scroll down a little further down here on the quad draw tool here, you'll see there's an option that says clear dots. That'll go ahead and just take off any extra dots you are not currently using. Handy little feature there. There we go. That works. Let's add a little more geometry up here. Okay. That was good. Okay. Not even necessarily, but good enough for now. Now I can actually go through and build down the sleeve. Now, something I want to point out that we may want to explore is a lot of animations start in T-pose. I mean, this 3/4 angle actually is acceptable in regular animation now, but in motion capture they actually want you to start out in T-pose. So we may want to do some adjustments down the line to where this actually is augmented to where it's out in a T-pose. But for now, I'm going to create as is, and I'll alter it later on. So just let you know what my thoughts are, where I'm planning on going with this. Add an extra piece of geometry there, that'll help with the smoothing part here.
Most people, there's a box in your closet of videotape.
Has to be in the center. Okay. I know it seems like it was a lot of geometry I just kind of threw in there, but when it comes to dynamic cloth, we'll probably actually end up adding a lot more later on down the line when we smooth this, but like I said, you have to have a lot of geometry for dynamic cloth to look right, otherwise it just looks like a crumpled piece of paper pretty much. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to keep moving down the line here. Okay. Actually, since this is all straight tube here, is what I could do is grab this edge, just bring it all the way down here. Go to the vertex mode. Oops. Bring this one all the way down. Okay. I don't think it's gonna like me that I did that. Yeah, it's not wanting to complete now. Let's see if I can put it down here for complete. Okay, that was a bad idea. My bad. We'll bring that back up here. I'll have to complete an entire row before I try doing that. Pretty much what my thought was that I can just bring it down here and I can add in the edge loops and then the live surface would help me smooth everything else out. But yeah. Sometimes I should test things out before I just start trying things. At least on video. Sometimes in these corners here it's really hard for it to get in there. And it's just because the camera's being kind of blocked by the body, so it's just not completing the way I want it to. So sometimes I can move some stuff up and get more creative to get the shape I'm actually after. Alright. Alright, now see to level this all out. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just see if I can It is not liking that. Okay. No, it's not going to let me do that. Alright, so I'm just going to back out of that. I had an idea and it turned out backfired on me. That's okay. Sometimes you have to explore those avenues and just see what happens. I'm going to just manually start trying to bring some of this down. Just grab every other edge and it'll help speed the process along. So I might mess that part up. If that happens, you could always go through and use your multi-cut tool. Just cut there, enter, and then go to edge mode. Select that edge that didn't complete right. Go to delete edge vertex. I have it on my shelf, so that helps. Okay, back to object mode. Back to my quad draw tool. Just keep on moving down here. Doesn't like jumping that much. Alright, so I'm going to have it hop all the way down to the elbow, so I'm just going to grab one edge, bring it down over here. Alright, keep on going down here. Alright, bring this one down. We're almost there. I know it seems a little tedious, but you know, it's just part of the process of processing 3D scans. I'm gonna try hopping over. Alright, so looks like we need 2 more and I'll be done. This with that sleeve. Okay, so this side over here actually attaches into the leg, which is to where it's going to be real difficult for us to continue forward. So I'm actually just going to use some regular modeling methods to get the last part of the sleeve. So I'm going to go to object mode, select this guy here. Actually, you know what, before we even do that, let's take the last couple steps here, which is just add in a couple extra edge loops. That'll help us finish out the sleeves here. Helps it conform a little bit better. Alright, so now I'm ready to go back to object mode. Go here, and we'll go to our edge mode, and we'll double select this edge here, and we're just going to go to extrude, and I'll turn off live surface for the moment. My mind doesn't have a heart attack. Okay, turn on X-ray too so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, that's about the right length. Now I need to go to face mode. Okay, so I'm going to go to face mode. There we go, face mode. Select one face, double click it there. So now if I hit X-ray, you can see that the whole loop there is selected. And I'm just going to use my extrude tool to get that last little bit of how it's raised out of the sleeve and it's got a little bit of bubble to it. So I'll use extrude. Scale together slightly. There we go. And that's pretty much it. From here I'm pretty much done with, turn X-ray off. Back to object mode. Oops, didn't want that. There we go. So if I smooth this, let's see what we're looking at. Alright, it's looking a little bit better. This part here, I need looks like a little bit more geometry to hold that bevel there. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop in an extra edge loop right there. And that will make it to where, let's test it now. Excuse me. That does hold it a little bit better. Let's go ahead and try actually grabbing this edge loop here and scaling it apart. Now let's go ahead and try again. That was a little bit better. Let's go and take this face loop here, and I'm just going to scale it apart a little bit more. Then we'll add an edge loop along the top edge over here. That will help hold that, and do the same thing down here. Okay. Sorry guys, grass pollen. Alright, so that looks better. I can deal with that. And we now have hollow sleeves here. So now, as our character moves around, if her hands come up, her hands will come out of these sleeves. So that's perfect. That's what we're after. Let's go back to our regular mode. So press 1. Alright, so that's looking fairly decent. We're over half an hour now, so I'm going to go ahead and name my new surface. So call that one shirt, or yeah, shirt's good enough. Call it mesh shirt. Okay. Alright, so this is a good stopping point. Next lesson, we will finish off this sleeve and do the ruffles on the top and the bottom and these straps that go up and over. And then we'll be ready to start working on the actual model itself. We just move this off to the side to deal with the stuff in the way. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.